8 million-legged octopus, where all these like, so all of my hairs, which I thought were antenna to receive messages, are actually like feelers, like coming out, like they're just like giving out messages, and it's like scary, because then I'm like, what if, like, there's a lot of bad things that can happen when I touch somebody, right? And it's like, wait, that's a story I heard. Like, what if my touch is gentle and beautiful? Like, what if I trust that what is going on in here is gentle and beautiful, so like that my touch will be or what if I don't? What if I just talk to myself forever and I just gently touch myself? In beautiful ways. And then somebody comes up to me and they're like, Sierra, help me. And I'm like, okay. I'll help you with words. Those words really help me. They're also, I'm just jam-packed with. All words. Like, I don't know the sensation of my liver, but I know how to spell it. I didn't feel my gallbladder until, like, or hear it. I didn't even hear it. I still, like, sometimes, I don't even know what it feels like, but just the sound of my gallbladder going, like, after I eat something that has a fair amount of fat in it, because my gallbladder releases something super specific. It's basically like this little thing, like a squeeze button. It's like push button for, like, people who need to eat fat, which is, like, brilliant. Because that means if I don't have that squeeze button, like, I can't easily get the energy from eating fat. So it's just like one less option. So because I have this, like, gallbladder option, like, then I can get energy from this source that's abundant around me. So my body is super cool, and I knew how to spell gallbladder. I knew how to read gallbladder in a book, but none of that other stuff. And now I can hear it, and now I'm like, gallbladder awareness. Oh. You know what else I can turn into energy, though? Like, I'm pretty sure everything. This nourishment that I'm getting from my friend who's giving it back, so it's making, like, I'm not hungry. I'm telling somebody my emotions. Somebody's asking me to tell them. Like, I need to clarify. Yeah. Oh, and then, so I'm like, this friend pulled me up, and the teacher is like, what kind of friend? And I was like, a friend. But I was like, friend? A friend? Friend. Friend is friend is friend. That's one of my mottos, and that's me, my being like teacher to my student. And she was like, was it a male friend? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, so it might have something to do with your father. And then I'm like, oh, these are words that don't need to be in my, it might have something to do with an authority figure. Take that. Which is what the lady did interpret it as. Which is what the human did interpret it as. Goodness. Which is what the ball of energy was able to translate it. My vision of my friend. So what's that saying is, like, the word my isn't even that vision of a friend. So, even that father, okay, that male means father, not true. Not true. Like, all of my ideas about fatherishness, they do not necessarily mean like male genitalia. And furthermore, the way that I relate with the world does not have to do with their genitalia. Really. That's what I'm getting at. What difference does it make? The shape of this physical thing. The words I'm touching you with are far more impacting than a dick can be if it's inside of me. Therefore, the obvious connection. Like, I'm liberated from being within touching proximity to anybody. This is so freeing. It's like, I need to be there. And then I hung out with my mom. Like, I talk on the phone with my mom every day for a while, and then we hung out, and we were like, well, I suppose. That's an impersonation of my mom. And then we talk on the phone, and we're like, oh, we still have it. Like, like, being within physical proximity of somebody, like, straight up can freak them out. Like, there are so many stimuli that have been done and that I could mimic. Which is the same with words. There are so many stimuli that every word means, like father, that I could mimic when I say, your father. And it's like, you don't know my dad. You have daddy issues. Like, yeah, and mommy issues, and sister issues, and selfie issues, and, like, auntie issues. Dude, issues is issues. All of my proximities have funny ideas, and I'm like trying to sort them out and balance them. I'm like, because I'm this proximity to something, I behave like this, and then I behave like that, and it's like somebody is like, you don't behave like that, okay? And I'm like, really? Is this working or is this not working? Is this behavior that I'm having in this proximity to you working or not working? And then I'm like, okay, well, is it the proximity? Is it because you... And then I'm like, why did that proximity trigger anything? Like, I can control which things are triggering me, so just because you are literally punching me in the face, your proximity to my well-being could be miles away. Like, that punch in the face could do that's what happened when I get hit by a car. You are literally hitting me with, like, all your might. And then I was like, turns out you didn't take any of my power away. Thought that was the case. Like, physically, that my power would get, like, sucked away by this big metal, like, gravity feeling kind of thing. And then it turned out I was just like, like, and then I got all these beautiful hugs. And then I trotted over because there was ins and outs in the club, which is why I was even taking a walk anyway, because it was super loud. I could hear it literally a mile away. And because there was ins and outs, so I could take. I was like, dance was boring. Gonna take a walk. Night is beautiful. Go out, walk, get hit by a car, go back in, get hugs. She drives away, or car drives away. Whatever. Everybody identifies with cars, and not everybody. Get hit by a big force. I get support and energy from myself and the people around me, and patience and consideration and learning and listening and exchanging. And then I waltz back into dance floor, and I'm like that. So even if the person behind that punch had intentions of taking my power away, or if it was an accident, no matter what the circumstances on the other end, my reaction, I am pretty convinced I have control of my reaction. Which means I have control of how I am using that energy that's coming into me from this other thing. Like, if I'm resisting against it, then yeah, I still feel it right there. But if I'm going with it and dancing with it, I felt it as like this, like, as more of a wind relationship or a wave relationship. I get to ride with it. And the ecstatic part of that situation was I was like, oh my god, my body can ride with a car. And I thought surfing was hard. I got skills. I got intuitive movement. Like, did you not see that? That's what I told the witnesses. Actually, the first thing that I said when I hopped up, like I rolled over the car and popped up, I was like, I'm really good at that. That was shocking. And so then I went and danced, and I was like, well, these movements must be pretty cool too. Those movements can hang out with a force that I thought was indomitable. These movements must be pretty interesting too. And how generous of my brain to turn off and let my body. And I think it's a back and forth. Like, I make my brain do everything. I'm like, and you decide what I'm gonna put into my stomach. And my stomach's like, yo, I have an answer for that. Like, call me like peeing his pants trying to get the teacher to call on it. And I'm like, brain, what did that article say? And the brain is like, sugar. And I'm like, brain, you chose wrong because I feel sick. And my stomach was like, could have told you. So I start giving my brain a break and being like, oh, whoa. Look at all these places I store information, and that information is accessible. Not necessarily through, like, eventually through the brain, but not primarily. Like, that's not the in and out door. And, like, get that message from there, and we'll bring it out here, or we'll bring it out here, or we'll bring it out through my toes, or bring it out through wheels, bring it out through words that I touch people with, and visuals. So I'm just touching you with these words. And see, this is so silly because I'm not touching anybody until they want to listen. So your consent has been given. That is not up to me. So my nephew's like, watch my YouTube channel or subscribe to it, get the alerts. Actually, he's not like, did you see it? Did you see it? But I did, and I told people about it because I loved it. So what's the fear of that happening? Why would that be at all, like, if somebody saw this and they're like told somebody because they loved it, like, why is that scary to me? Why is that something that I'm like if that's a reaction, or if they told somebody because it sparked an emotion in them, like, just as well. Like, loving something passionately, like, that's just energy moving through you. And if these words got energy moving through you in a way where it's moving through me, which I'm like, this is the right way. But actually, I'm just like, this is a way, and you see me moving this way. So also, like, I want to start that conversation with anybody who can be all like, oh, I moved that way, or like can inform this as well. Why would I not? There's no advantage to not starting this conversation with a random stranger, because I believe these words. So I'm like, if you have another way of like believing and acting and moving, like maybe this whole time, if you were to say these words, you would be moving your body because of your knees would be like, and you could tell me that's valuable to like. So if that's an option, if that's something that might happen, then I have zero risk. If the other thing that, like, what, so maybe I risk humiliation and it's like, that's laughable. That's literally laughable. Literally laughable. Because if you find a joke in something that I didn't see, like if you find something funny like that I didn't see about this, then I'm like, I can laugh at that too. At my like, it's not at my expense. It's just that I put out something that made like something weird happen in somebody else's head, and like, oh, the way that it's not laughable though is when that, okay, so then there's the part of like, I'm making something weird happen in somebody's head so that they're associating me with like that weird feeling, when really that, like, whatever it could be, like any trigger that I'm putting out, it could be a trigger, like these words. For example, my friend, she showed at a gallery and there was like 5 people who messaged her saying she's a traitor, and she's like, so I need to learn your story and then feel guilty about it. I need to learn why, like, this fantasy story that you have that has all these adjectives and dates and names and like rights and property and numbers, and it's like, so you want me to learn all of that just so I can tell you that I did all of these things on these dates and numbers and properties and whatever. And even if I had a beautiful, like, what is happening here has nothing to do with that story in your head. If you would maybe like set aside that story in your head and see what actually is going on right here in this little spot in your proximity. It's in your proximity and you're interested in it. Just go see it. Just go see it. Feel it. maybe you would really feel like this sensation that I did, which was like, I feel like somebody's telling my story in beautiful, like, in brilliant ways. And this is a story that's really near and dear to me because I felt these feelings that these clothes are making me feel, and if they're making other people feel these ways, I'm like, well, wow, cool. If these are artifacts of sensations that I haven't seen before, like I haven't seen an artifact for that sensation before, so I'm really interested, and now I feel it, and like I get to touch it, and I get to meet the person who came up with it, and be like, wow. And your mom, and her mom, like, come on. That's what's happening here. So your story of look at the bigger picture and the bigger picture looks like this is bogus. You're showing me a zoomed in, tiny, like, this is a sliver of history that you want to recreate and continue to keep going. And I'm like, look at this sliver of history that's happening right now. Feel it, because it includes all of the history that happened right here too. Those vibes are probably still here, and you can feel them, and there's this feeling of pride maybe that you feel that's still here. And you're here. And we're now. Like, breathe with me. That's what I'm asking. See, that person touched me with music. And I have the option to enjoy it or not. And I know there's been times where, like, that police hit me with a siren or the ambulance hit me with a siren. And I'm like, hey, like, you're rude. Like, come on. Like, I also have the option of running the story through my head of, like, woo, somebody's getting help. Who needs it? Like, somebody raised their hand and something's coming through. Like, brilliant. I want that to happen to me. That's an option. Cool. I want it to be when I raise my hand, I get a high five. The teacher will call on me. I wanted that to be. So, what was that feeling of hunger? Was it a precursor? It was just a growl that's like, start thinking about food because you need it? Or I don't even have to think about food. Food is everywhere. That's my motto. Like, it's really within arm's reach everywhere. I have yogurt right there and a tomato. So do I eat right when my stomach growls? If the option's there? Or do I still have to wait till I feel hungry? I can ask my stomach. Which means get blood flowing to other parts of my body first. And then there's this part, like, why do I even want to spread words? They're like, sensations are sufficient. So it's basically like, why don't I just spread like facial, like body postures, and like that made me feel like I got stretched all throughout here. Is that what that makes you feel like? Sometimes if my knees are not tucked behind my, like, then, or yeah, you can see my feet. No, you can't. Right there. And sometimes it feels. Oh no, it still does feel all the way into the arches of my feet. And then I got a little like leftover like like right here it got tight after I let my tongue back in. Is that your sensation? So see, why do I ever need to share words when I can just share it? When that's all I'm really looking for is like my body's doing this funny thing. What's yours doing? My hair looks really funny. How's your hair look? Like, is that it? And then all I want to do is smile because it's like that's somewhat, I don't know, I do know some things. And like look around, like I'm actually searching for something. Is that triggering something in my body for the thought to come out? Doubt it. When I could be moving, which is much more efficient. Like the move. It's actually like something's moving. So that feeling of movement, minimum, will inspire movement of stuff there. But I think like also it's not a far stretch to think that that movement is going to make my voice sound better or my posture better, or if I have these things going on, right, then the thoughts will be moving in efficient ways too. If I'm not moving in efficient ways habitually with all of my faculties, then I burp. It's true, I have a dragon inside of me that burps whatever. The burp always means like check in. So do I want a tomato and yogurt? Do I want to post this? I already decided I'm posting on YouTube. It's done. And then all that rambling after that I already knew. There was no like, oh, I can edit this out. I already knew. And then after I put it on YouTube, then I can delete it. And that's the cool thing. I can be a hoarder, and then this is cool. If I get feedback, because I'm like, how do I take care of my digital archives? And based on feedback, I can know which ones to save, and then I'll just delete the ones that don't get feedback. Or maybe they don't even have to be deleted. Like, see, that's where hoarder... None of it needs to be deleted. None of it needs to be thrown away. Like, how do you throw away something? It just gets... It's not thrown away. Like, this energy that I've been... Minimum, it helped me process, so the next move that I'm doing is more informed. So if it's... Everything's valuable. But it's valuable in the right now, right? Rather than me wondering, like, what's the investment potential? Which is what I told. I was like, it's so great. You're a valuable resource. I get your brain to work with mine too. Like, I hope that's a compliment. Because it seems a little bit hoardery. Like, yay, I'm glad you enjoy talking to me and figuring problems out with me, because you have one of the most efficient running brains I've ever met. Is that true? Let me check. Skeptical. Is that clouded by emotions and attraction? Some sort of physical attraction that makes me want sex? Like, does that at all have to do anything with genitals and sex? That thought? That realization? That whatever? Like, if I feel this feeling of, like, whole body satisfaction, stimulation, when I'm talking to you, I've related that to sex. In the sense that that's a similar feeling I can get when I'm... But the feeling I get when I'm, like, being snuggled by you is also the same feeling. Like, it's the same feeling. And it's not by you when I'm being snuggled by another human being. Because I don't actually remember being, like, what it felt like when we snuggled. Unless my subconscious does. Therefore, this feeling like I'm snuggled by a thought or by somebody's words and intentions that I believe. That's the same as feeling snuggled. It's the same thing, like touch is touch is touch. So touch is snuggle, snuggle is touch. I can just say snuggle is like a little bit more stimulating sense of touch, or like version of touch, dance of touch. But touch is the same thing that's happening. So if it's messages being relayed between then I'm disappointed by something. I think that's just habit to be disappointed. Like, come on. That's a cool thought. That's cool because that could mean that I have a physical relationship with somebody who I don't have to, like, what I thought, all of the benefits I could get from a physical, like, touching relationship with somebody I can get through words. I mean, by phone call, maybe in visuals. Like, it's maybe there's like, that's interesting because being far away from somebody, I'm like, wow, I'm getting better at taking this as same interest. See, this is when I'm like, maybe I can have multiple soulmates. It's my other soulmate. I learned the phenomena of like, I'm getting better at taking pictures of myself and realizing that when you just like take this production that I have of myself to give to somebody else, this dog and pony show, like the thought that I'm putting into a selfie is the same thought I'm putting into like stuff that would happen when we're in certain proximity together. So it's the same actions and sensations. So what's the difference? So what's why? And what's the more part of it? Like, is it way more efficient to get messages when I'm actually like, is it taking patience and what's wrong with taking patience? Like, patience might be like, oh. I feel like a kangaroo in this posture. I guess you need to hop. Maybe my discomfort is that, maybe I can ask my body, is my discomfort coming from wanting fuel? Yay! Because the disappointment, did that match my words? No. But the disappointment came with my words simply because of how my body is asking for fuel. So me being like, that's when I know I'm hungry. Not this growling per se. That might be. Wait. Is stomach growling mean hungry? No. Stomach growling means stomach's empty. Yeah, which is a pretty cool state to be sometimes. Maybe lots of times. So this disappointment is me saying I can fix it with food, but can I get past this disappointment without food? I mean, like, probably. I can get past lots of things. How am I so confident? I get past this disappointment without food. Yeah. See, do I need to pause? That's a yes. Okay. Later.